Hello, everyone. A very warm welcome to the another collaborative show. And the topic for today is how young professionals can make a mark in their careers. I wholeheartedly welcome our guest today, Mr. Siddharth. Uh, I would like to introduce you with our guest today. Just a second, please. Yeah, I'm so sorry for the gap. Yeah. So, hi Siddharth, wish you a very warm welcome. A quick
Hi, Nicole.
introduction about Siddharth. He is an award-winning marketing leader, author, speaker, and coach with 15 plus years experience in helping organizations in transformation of digital marketing, customer experience, sales, and marketing functions in both B2B and B2C environment through effective change management. He worked in a blend of corporate consulting and agency environments with a large variety of organizations. Siddharth's work has received several awards, including the Innovative Digital Customer Experience Award. He's also a career coach helping and mentoring young professionals and students prepare, scale, and transform their careers. And we have him today with us to speak on this beautiful topic about how young professionals can actually make a mark in the career. Siddharth, do you want to add anything to your introduction if I may have missed anything about
No,
you?
no. Thanks, Nicole. We can go.
Perfect. So I think let us quickly start with our discussion about how young professionals can actually uh, prove their best. So what do you think are the let us start with the problems and challenges basically. What are these problems and challenges that young professionals face in day-to-day life?
Okay, sure. So let me take it into two buckets. One is from the individual side, and one is from the organization side. Okay. So if you take the individual side, okay. So the first most important critical stuff is they need to understand that once you get into a work environment, it's not just about that core skill which you've actually learned. Like if you're an accountant, it's not just about accounting. If you're an engineer, it's not just about the engineering stuff which you've read in college. This is something which they need to really understand. The second one is impatience. A lot of young professionals, which probably even I've done the mistake when I was very young, is give time. Okay, don't keep jumping jobs or jumping functions. Give time. Be patient to understand yourself and the organization. The next important thing is the inability to judge the environment and people. So
Right.
when you're in college, right, it's very easy. It's like, I would say it's like black and white, and also the risk zone is very low. So even if I misjudge someone, it's not going to impact me much. Or even at the same time, it's easy. It's like people try to be as expressive as themselves, but in organizations, it's not that way. So the big mistake is the big problem is people's inability to judge other people around them. Okay, it could be peers, it could be superiors, or it could be juniors or whomever. Okay. The next mistake is too much of baggage. For example, salary, titles, comparing with peers. This is the most ridiculous thing, which forces you to make mistakes, which actually impacts you in the long run. Okay. And uh, be open-minded. Be open-minded to learn. Be open-minded to accept that you may have made mistakes. The
Right.
On the organization side, I would say the problem is the absolute disconnect between education and industry today. It's
Yeah.
not really a smooth transition. So people need to be prepared to get a. It could be a culture shock, or it could be a probably in terms of your technical knowledge. You could have been a topper in your stream of education, but you may found that there's a lot of irrelevance with what you do. Okay. The next problem from company side is poor work ethics from youngsters. They don't really
Mhm.
seem to understand the value of commitment, being truthful, being honest, and stuff like that. And again, I'm not talking about really harsh lies or stuff like that. Even small stuff like if you commit to something, just please deliver. Okay. Then
Right.
lack of critical thinking. Critical thinking is very, very important, and that's something which is not there in a lot of people. And the inability to get the inability to take feedback, in the sense if you're in college, you get direct feedback from professors or friends, but at a workplace, you may not always get open-minded or a direct feedback. So you're supposed to take cues and get that, change yourself. So these are all kinds of the problems which both the youngster faces as well as the organization faces from a young talent.
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yeah, you were not audible in the middle. Now you're audible.
Yes, I had a power cut, so I just a little bit. Yes, continue.
So basically, this is what it is. So as I said, these are the various factors which probably are the challenges from both the organization side as well as from a young professional side, which probably would be the stumbling blocks when you're really starting off on your career.
Agreed. I think I would like to add on to this point itself, because as youngsters we are majorly taught theoretical things, and not whatever we study in books, it's just in books. It's everything is theoretical. We hardly get to learn that actually experience that we actually require. So it depends. Again, whatever Siddharth said, I would like to put this out message to all the youngsters out there. Please don't compare yourselves with the others. Please don't jump. As he said, this is the biggest challenge for all the youngsters to fit in a new organization. Please don't jump, and please don't compare yourself. Just give it a bit time. All right. So let us quickly uh, you know, uh, discuss something more about these challenges. And do you want to maybe shed some light on how these challenges, I mean, despite these challenges, how can one actually perform good in their careers?
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah. Uh, so see, there are some certain skill sets which organization look for in people. Okay, and this is not necessarily stated. So especially at an entry level, probably the skill sets which people mention would be largely technical in nature. But there
Right.
are other things which they look for, and these are things which you need to keep in mind if you want to circumvent all these challenges. So the first one is people expect team workers, okay, people who can collaborate as a team, okay. And the next one is about the willingness to learn continuously. Even
Right.
once you're into your job, there's nothing called end of learning. So they want people who can be self-motivated to keep learning. And the more important thing is unlearning stuff. So something which worked for me 3-4 years back may not be the same now. So the people who grow up are the people who realize that that's an old stuff. I don't want to keep continuing doing the same thing because something was successful at that point of time. Okay. So the next one is about developing planning and prioritizing skills. So this is a big challenge. So planning and prioritizing tasks is a big hurdle because of which youngsters generally create a bad impression where they are unable to deliver the more critical things, but they end up spending too much time on not so important things. Okay, so
Yeah.
the other very important thing is processing of unorganized information. So it's not as you mentioned, right? When we are studying in college, we read books, and or even when we are probably doing a case study, uh, all the information is given to us in a platter, and all you need to do is you need to just analyze that information and probably think in various dimensions. But in an organization, it's not always that you are readily handed over a lot of information to process. There may be a lot of unorganized information which you may have to gather, but either by asking questions or by keeping your ears and eyes open, which will become a very important critical input for organizing stuff. So that's something which is very important. Okay. So apart from this, the biggest mistake a lot of people do is not getting to understand your business. So I may be at a entry level position focused on a specific function. Could be HR, could be finance, could be R&D, whatever it could be. But it's very, very critical that you understand your overall business model. And I don't say that that will happen immediately, but then that should be top of your priority for you to really understand the business model of your organization, to understand the overall business, because only then you can map a growth for yourself. Not only that, only then you can say that, okay, this is the right kind of industry for me, or this is not the right kind of industry for me. This is something which is very, very important, which you need to keep in mind on how do you understand your overall business model. So I would say these are all very, very important elements which you need to keep in mind and prepare yourself for. Obviously, it's not like you can't just prepare and get in, but once you get in, these are things which you need to keep your eyes and ears open about.
Right. I think that is very well put, Siddharth. In fact, when we are actually in the organization, we actually face these challenges. We really need to understand how to, we really need to understand the purpose of doing it actually. Otherwise, it's all just vague, because some people usually do it for, money or
True.
this profit. Right? Agreed. So what are those expectations that young people have versus the reality that they actually end up getting?
Okay. So, see, the expectations probably it's partly because of the education system we are in, right? Which is largely marks focused and largely placement focused. It's not really preparing yourself. So the expectations probably are, so people don't think beyond probably this package I need to get, or they don't think beyond this is the salary, or this is the title and stuff like that. Okay. And the other thing is that the expectation is that once you get into an organization, it's all rosy and stuff. There are a lot of unexpected stuff which happens in organizations. And let's be honest, it's not that you, very few lucky people get great bosses who can be a mentor. Okay. And you need someone like a mentor who can guide you. And to be very honest, only few people manage to get that kind of bosses. So it's about how you really fight it out for yourself. And also the other thing is it's about you get to see movies and you get to see organization in all kinds of places where you kind of have a kind of a mindset. Okay. And different organizations have different culture. Okay. And this is something which you have to be sensitive about. So the reality is this, right? The first most important thing for anybody, for a youngster, is please try to understand the organization culture, because different organizations have different types of culture. And when I say culture, it's not about it's not about what is visible to your eye. It's about how people treat other people. It's about how people have a perspective towards work, what people think about as a career, and all these kind of things. So be sensitive about the culture. The other one reality is that, let's be honest, it's not like everybody around you in an organization is going to be your friend. Okay. It's not like a college where you all hang out and have fun. Here everyone is running their own rat race, and you need to be very sensitive about whom can you consider as your friend or a confidant. Three is it may sound negative, but then it's very difficult. Don't just immediately start trusting a lot of people. So you need to understand that. And reality is, it's a cliched sentence, but change is the only constant. So it's not that you just landed a job. It doesn't mean that your career path is set. You need to really work for it. Okay. You need to have some aspirational goals and you need to work towards it. Like today I may have entered into a particular job, but I need to be clear about what I want to achieve in the next 4 or 5 years, and in parallel prepare for that. And that's that is what makes the difference between people who are mediocre and people who are successful, is that they plan parallelly. In parallel, they add on skill sets which is far beyond their actual scope of work. Okay, so the reality is this, that uh, there are a lot of unclear elements which you need to be wary of and prepare yourself and grow.
So does that mean should we like have a plan B always and prepare ourselves for all the consequences?
No. So I'm not talking about plan B here at all. I'm talking about, see, the problem is this, that a lot of people think that, okay, I got in today. Probably in 2 years, I'll get a promotion. 3 years later, I may get another promotion. It doesn't work that way. So what I'm saying is, the first thing you need to do is this. Once you get into an organization, first understand the organization, understand yourself. And as I said, a lot of us ended up doing certain graduation and certain post graduation because everybody was doing it. It's not like US or Europe where people decide to choose something because uh, they are interested in it. Okay, so you probably did an engineering and you did an MBA because everybody did it. So but then once you got into the organization, you need to first understand the business model and then understand which of your skill sets is your strength and which is your weakness. Like for example, I did my engineering and then I joined an engineering company and was with them for 3 years. Okay, I was in 2 engineering companies for 3 years, but I realized that it's just not my cup of tea. Okay, so it takes time, so give that time, and you need to understand these two elements of it, whether you fit or not. Okay, so once you're clear about that, you need to chart out what do I want to become in probably 5 years, 6 years, and you need to parallelly prepare, because as I told, what helps you to do your current work is not going to help you in your future work or your next promotion or your next whatever is your career aspiration. So that's what I'm saying. It's not about a plan A or plan B. It's about within your set of uncertainties, how do you organize things and how are you prepared so that you can grow. Okay, how do you deliver more than what is there in your job description, and how do you go about doing that? Okay, so that's what I'm trying to tell.
That's very beautifully put. I think all our viewers whoever is seeing us would be, would be understanding how to actually focus towards our goal and understand the importance of planning basically.
True.
Agreed. So this takes me to my next question, which is almost same as we have been discussing. Apart from these technical skills, which we have already discussed, what are those specific soft skill sets which everybody actually requires to excel
Okay.
in any job profile?
Okay. So the first very important skill set is communication. Okay, and when I say communication, it's not about having some amazing English. Okay, it's not about, wow, I speak very good English means I'm a good communicator. No. Okay, so communication is about soft communication, your body language, and how do you really deal with people, how do you understand and network with people. This is a very very important skill set. Okay, the next one is the ability to understand your the business acumen. Okay, how do you understand business and how do you understand the impact which you are creating on the business? It may be very small, but then you need to be very clear. So that takes me to my next skill set, which is the art of storytelling. And when I say storytelling, I'm not here talking about some great lot of blogs and content and all these things. About how do you really tell the story about, I've done a certain piece of work, how do I actually prove that value to my bosses or my peers or my stakeholders? How do I do that? Okay, this is an important skill set on how do I, in a very simple way, communicate the value which I'm adding to the organization. The next one, very important skill set, is stakeholder management. So stakeholders come in a variety of ways. Okay, stakeholders can be external, they can be internal, they can be my boss, they can be my peer, they can be my super boss, or they could be somebody who thinks that I'm a threat to their work. So it's very critical that you carefully observe all these things, and you don't need to put a formal document to map it, but inside your mind you need to map and see who all are getting affected by your work, positively or negatively. So that gives you an idea on how to tackle these people. This is a very, very, very important skill set which differentiates people who get stuck in roles and people who grow up the ladder. Okay, so these are all, I would say, some of the top skill sets, which is, I will just recap them. Developing your business acumen, storytelling, communication skills, then stakeholder management, and the art of networking. Okay, so these are all things which you need to develop over time to really do well in your organization.
I hope all the audiences are probably jotting them in their minds to actually work on these skills rather than just the technical skills. I would say communication and in fact networking are something which is very important again. So I think even I would request all the viewers to probably jot them in their minds and kickstart the work. So how can actually we use these skills probably to actually create an impact that we're trying to in any
Okay.
organization?
Okay. So this is something which I tell a lot of people. Okay, you can create a legacy, and if you want to create a legacy, you don't need to be the CEO. You don't need to be some biggie in the organization. Okay, so for that, the most important thing is whatever function you are working on, you need to first understand that properly. The second one is you need to understand your skill sets properly. The third one is what you need to do is you need to map your skill sets to the organizational goals. So how am I going to help? So for example, I'm going to give an example. So when I joined an organization which was into heavy equipment, they used to predominantly do traditional modes of marketing. Okay, so I realized that my skill set was in digital experience, and this organization had that gap, and I could bridge that gap, which could deliver more sales. So I mapped this. Okay, and to be very honest, I was pretty junior in that organization. It was a very hierarchical organization. I had 9, 10 layers of people above me, but then I could sell the story, I could build a business case, and it's not easy. Obviously, a lot of challenges were there, and a lot of opposition was there, friction was there, and stuff. But then, uh, in this way, eventually, I could deliver, and that gave an identity for myself in the organization. Okay, so there are people who refer to my work even after I left. So this is the kind of thing which you need to do, which is understand your business, understand your skill set. How can you use that skill set to develop a
Deliver.
business result? Okay,
Mhm.
and here I want to give you a framework. Okay, so I would say it's not a framework, it's a you a lot of you may have heard about this called the blue ocean strategy. Okay, so how do you superimpose that on your work area? Is it's actually a x and a y axis, and on one axis you have uh, cost, and the other you have effort. Okay, so low cost, high cost, low effort, high effort. Okay, and you need to identify low cost, high impact areas. Okay, low cost, low effort, but high impact areas, and deliver over there. Okay, so I'll give you an example. So if you take Air Deccan, which used to be there, or Southwest Airlines, or some of these budget airlines, uh, they did away with high cost, high effort, which is food and all luxury items, because it is high cost, high effort. Because of that, they were able to bring down the cost of the ticket, because of which their business improved, because a lot of people could fly at a cost which was very, very low and affordable. Okay, so which meant it was actually a low cost, low effort, but high impact. Like that, in every of our function, we will be able to find gaps, what other people are doing. Okay, so understand what your peers are doing and identify how you can create a difference. It could be anything. So end of the day, it could improve process efficiency, top line, bottom line, productivity, or something. But you must be able to be very clear on what aspect are you trying to improve. Okay, it could be a small ripple. Okay, but then it makes a difference. People will notice you. Okay, and That's what I say you need to do. The other one is, I would say that all of you would have heard of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You can put that onto your organization as well, into your career as well, okay, and map it. Okay, so at the lowest level is just the need to survive in an organization, okay, and the level after that is about security. You have a fear, okay, I don't want to lose my job. The next one is about a sense of belonging, saying that, okay, I belong to this organization. The next one is about you feel that, okay, I'm doing some work which is creating an impact. And the last level is about how are you impacting other people and how are you helping other people to improve. Okay, so as youngsters you need to be conscious about which level you are in. If you're constantly in that survival mode, or you're just in a sense of security mode, it's very difficult to grow up. Okay, and obviously you have to keep your external things in place, like your financial stability and all these things are very important. But apart from that, you need to be very, very clear on where you are. If you're for a very, very long time stuck in that survival mode or a security sense of security mode where I need a job, that's it, I should not lose my job, that's it, you can't move up the ladder.
That's very beautifully put again. So you have discussed two theories. Can I get the name of the first theory again? One is Maslow's theory, and the other is
So the first one I said is blue ocean.
Blue Ocean.
Okay,
All right, yeah.
Blue Ocean, it's a book actually, Blue Ocean Strategy.
Okay.
It is usually for big organizations to move into uncharted territories and make revenue. But you can use that in your work area
That's pretty
to
easy. In
find.
fact, it's like low cost, low effort, but a higher impact, right? In fact, that is beautiful. In fact, this is something that I have learned today. I have heard about Maslow's theory, but the other theory is quite new to me. So I think our viewers also would have learned something good today. Do you have any? We are running out of time, so do you have any last minute thoughts to put in for our young professionals out there?
Yes. Yeah. So all I'm telling is, be patient. Try to understand yourself, your core skill sets. Salary and career are just don't try to map both of them at your beginning of your career. So this is not my own words. I'm repeating the words of some big thought leaders. So split your career into probably the first 15-20 years and the second 15-20 years. The first 15-20 years should be about learning, understanding, growing your skill sets and stuff. And only then, in your second half of your career, you can exponentially keep growing. If you focus too much on your 5% hike, 10% hike, or some fancy titles in your first half, you lose the momentum, and then you lose your USP in your second half of your career.
Right. That's very beautifully put again. So it's basically learning and unlearning in the first few phases of career, right?
Exactly.
And just right. That's very beautifully put. I hope all our viewers have really got a new learning from this session, and I really look forward to have some more sessions with you in near future.
Sure, Nikunj. Sure.
Thank
And
you so much for being with us
you are a great
today.
you are a great host and excellent questions.
Thank you so much for being with us today. And to all our viewers, just keep learning and uh, understand everything. And I think that is what we have learned from today's session. We need to keep learning and unlearning through everything that we do, and we'll reach somewhere. So that's a
Sure.
beautiful end towards the session. Thank you so much. Perfect. So shall we end it?
Sure.
Perfect. We have
Thank you.
some last videos to play. This Disha, do you mind playing the videos, please? I think they have some technical issues. Perfect. So I think let us end the session. Thank you so much once again, Siddharth. It was really
Thank
nice
you.
to have you. I really hope all our audience, young professionals out there, would have learned a lot. Go back home and definitely learn more about the two theories that we have discussed today. You'll definitely get to learn some more about it. All
Sure.
right. Thank you, guys.
All the best.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
And somewhere, some people might be from outside also. So good morning, good evening, from wherever you are seeing us. Bye bye.
Bye.